Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining me. And today we're going to be talking about fermented comfort foods using cultured ingredients that you can put in your soups, your stews, your casserole, and even your oatmeal. There is nothing like a cozy bowl of oatmeal in fall and winter time. And it's something like my whole family is obsessed with soup. I don't know why. They all want it, especially if they're not feeling well. They all create this thing in their mind about comfort, but we've had a lot of soup growing up. I liked the bone broth and I liked making it and I liked using it in soups. And my kids loved soups. So my whole family loves soups and they're always asking me to make them. But I like to add fermented ingredients to them. And I have like this finishing sauce that you can add that gives you live cultured foods with just enough that's going to nourish your belly and your heart. So the comfort foods that they love and that I love, they calm your mind, they ground your spirit, they remind you of home, warmth, and connection. And I see that so much in my own family. So when I add fermented ingredients like kefir, yogurt, labneh, or even a splash of fermented veggie brines, we turn ordinary comfort foods into something extraordinary. And these living foods, they feed your gut microbes, they boost your digestion, they help your body absorb more nutrients from the meal itself. They do a wonderful nourishment for the whole mind and the body. So the healthy bacteria in cultured foods doesn't just support your digestion. They also influence your mood, your energy, and your immune balance. And I see this all the time within my own family, again, watching them. Their moods are affected if they don't have the right gut microbiome. And I can tell their attitudes change. They become different people. And that's over a period of time if they don't have cultured foods. And it's really something that's been a really neat learning experience for me because I haven't had to preach to them about it. They just see what happens when they have, like, for instance, a kefir smoothie every day or some yogurt as a dessert, or they see the difference. They feel the difference and they feel out of balance when they don't have those foods because they grew up eating those foods. Well, my youngest daughter did. My older kids were like 16 or 17 when I started eating cultured foods. But Holly was a baby when she first started having these foods. She's the one that notices the biggest difference when she doesn't have them. But she started drinking kefir at 10 months old. And she says, Mom, I don't have a life without it. I have to have this. My body recognizes it. It knows what to do with it. It doesn't just change my gut. It changes my attitude and my mood. And even the joy that she feels is enhanced when she has a kefir smoothie. It's the funniest thing. I can tell when she's not eating right because she's different. And that happens to me too. But I've done it so long that I don't really notice it, a big change in me like I do in her sometimes or my other kids. Huge difference in the way they feel about life, the way they feel about the things in their life. And it's all coming from the gut. And the immune system is mostly in your gut. So it all goes together. So there's this growing body of research that shows that a happier gut leads to a happier you. Just like I said, it does. It's true. It happens to me too. So when you finish this bowl of soup or a stew, I just made a stew, last week. I made that prebiotic stew that I have in my fall ebook. It is so good. You use it with pumpkin and it's got beans. It's really mostly vegetables, but you can add meat to it, which I did. But it is so good. And then I always finish it off. I used to put cream bâche in it, but now I use labneh, which I talked about in an earlier podcast and on my website, which is just basically, guys, it's either kefir or yogurt that's super strained. So it's like cream cheese. It's just delicious. And I'm addicted to it now because I want it on everything because it tastes so good and it's so easy to make. And I keep it in my fridge and I don't buy the other stuff anymore because it's so thick and creamy. I just use it in recipes that call for sour cream or recipes that call for, cream cheese. It works so well. And the longer you strain it, It has the same consistency, but I think it tastes so much better. So I just top it with that, but I let it cool down. You don't want to do it super hot because then you're going to kill all the probiotics in your topping. So you want to let it cool down a little bit. I like to get it to like 115, 110 degrees. And I don't always, I can kind of test it with, I can tell when it's cooled down just by testing it with my finger actually. And then I top stuff with it. And the wonderful thing about it is that I do this all the time naturally, but I didn't know that other people did it. So when you finish like a stew or a casserole or yogurt or oatmeal, and you could put, like we put kimchi in, or even just cultured vegetables, actually more cultured vegetables and kimchi in our stir fries almost every single time. We just like the taste of it. We just love to put even some natto in it. That's really good too. And it's amazing how something as simple as a swirl of kefir or a spoonful of sauerkraut can really make you feel alive and nourished. You don't need a lot of these foods. They work really well, even if you just have a little bit of them. But they're kind of a steady thing in our diet, and they satisfy cravings for things because they're so nutrient dense that when you eat them, the foods you eat with the cultured foods, you increase the bioavailability of the nutrients in that food. And it's a wonderful way to get more nourishing, satisfying foods that your body needs. So the key rule is after it's cooking and once it's below, I'd say about 115 to 110, this preserves the live microbes and still gives you creamy and tanginess. And you'll kind of know, you can kind of tell after a while of doing this when things are too hot. So here's the reasons you want to add fermented foods to your dishes. Because cooking can destroy live probiotics, always add it after it's been, cooled down. And when used this way, it brings out the flavor and benefits of fermentation without compromising the live microbes. So creaminess without heaviness, kefir yogurt, labneh, which is made from kefir and yogurt, but it's just a super thick, like cheese, that brings luscious body and gentle tang to any soup, any casserole. It is so good. And the flavor, it just lifts the flavor of the food. A spoonful of cultured brine, even the juice of cultured vegetables, or even fermented salsa, if you're making Mexican, it brightens stews, it cuts richness. I think I made a chicken tortilla soup and I added some of my fermented salsa to it. It's very, very good. The live cultures help digestion, immune balance when added off the heat, and supports a balanced immune system that brings a spark of tanginess and brightness that elevates the entire dish. Think of it like finishing a dish with a drizzle of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon, only fermented foods add that same magic, only with gut healing twists. So they just liven up your whole body because you're getting probiotics in them. So once your soup or stew is finished, cool it slightly and try stirring in a few tablespoons or top it with homemade kefir cheese, yogurt cheese, or labneh for the silky smooth texture. I love it in potato soups, tomato soups, chicken chowders. They give such a good flavor. I have a butternut squash soup I love. I made a cauliflower soup the other day that I put it in it. Actually made it taste a lot better. So if you're making something like a bean stew, lentil stew, or chili, you can also put on cultured sour cream. I have a recipe for that that's made from yogurt, or a spoonful of the fermented salsa too. It just gives it that burst of flavor. When I make creamy soups, like I said, I let the pot cool for 10 minutes, then swirl in my kefir or my El Ruderai superfood yogurt. I do that a lot too because it has a good flavor and it gives that soup a lovely tang and fills the kitchen with the unmistakable comfort food aromas. It's creamy, rich, and alive. Now, casseroles. I like casseroles a lot because I like one pot bakes. They're ultimate comfort food. I love having a whole dish that I don't have to make a bunch of sides with. They're hearty, they're homey, and they make perfect leftovers. And I love having just one dish to give to my family. I do that all the time. And while you wouldn't bake probiotics into the hot dish, you still add the benefits right before serving. So again, a few spoonfuls of yogurt kefir into your casserole after it's baked, or the cheese, kefir cheese or yogurt cheese after it's cooled slightly, really tastes good. You can also stir in a few spoonfuls of cultured veggies or kimchi On a stir fry, like I said before, that gives it a tangy twist. And natto, I love that. A warm chicken and rice casserole with a spoonful of cultured yogurt that has olive oil in it and some fresh herbs is pure comfort. It tastes fabulous. Now, breakfast comfort, I do this a lot. I actually did this morning. Because I made pictures for it the day before, so I had leftovers. So I do oatmeal, and I topped it with this strained yogurt, which is, labneh or just kefir cheese or yogurt cheese. And I put a little maple syrup in it. Makes a gorgeous probiotic base for breakfast. I let the oatmeal cool down a little bit, and you can put honey on it. I have a recipe for apple compote on here, or I like to cook strawberries or fresh strawberries with a little bit of almonds, a cinnamon, and it's a wonderful way to have your oatmeal and have something comforting and warming in the morning. And I love adding a little bit of warm fruit and then the yogurt on top so the cultures stay happy. When I first started adding kefir and yogurt to my soups and stews and casseroles, I noticed wonderful things had happened to me. I felt more peaceful, more satisfied, more grounded. I just felt better after I had meals that had you just need like a spoonful, okay? You don't need a lot. And instead of feeling heavy that I used to get from the rich casseroles or creamy soups, these felt light, nourished, and happy, and nutritionally dense. I mean, that's really what you're seeking when you're trying to stay healthy, is you want foods that are loaded with nutrients that your body can use right away. Because when you think about it, okay, so when you eat a bag of potato chips, which you can do, or a box of cereal, you can almost eat the whole box if you're really hungry, but you cannot eat an entire bag of apples. Your body will stop you. You will not want to be able to eat them. They're so nutrient dense, your body just will get full and won't want the whole bag of apples. But that's not the case with processed foods. You can eat a ton of that because there's nothing in that for your body. It's not as good for you because the nutrients are either dead or not there, or there's processed ingredients and chemicals and stuff that's not good for you. But when you eat real food, you get very, very satisfied. And again, the important thing is whenever you just have like a condiment of a cultured food with your meal, you're going to get more nutrients from that dish than you would without it, because it helps to digest those foods because of the enzymes, the beneficial enzymes and probiotics in it that are helping you break down that food and get more nutrients from it. And the beauty of these fermented comfort foods is it brings healing, but also brings some warmth, because it's getting cold outside. So we want that warmth and cozy feeling. Your gut microbiome thrives when you feed it, and even small touches, a spoonful of kefir and a bit of cultured veggies there can make a huge difference. I have a bunch of recipes that you can look at that are comfort foods. I have all different things. Like I have some stuff that I made last year for Thanksgiving, which was an apple cider vinegar brine turkey. I have an apple compote recipe, which is warm apples made with cinnamon that are softened, and you can top your yogurt, you can top your oatmeal. It's so good. I have an apple kefir breakfast where you bake an apple, and it's really good, and you put kefir around it when it's done. Something I do a lot is called apple rice miso. I make rice and I put a whole apple, I chop it up and put it into the Instapot, cook it for what is rice, like 8 minutes. And then when it's done, I add a little bit of miso to it. It is one of the most comforting foods. It's something that my family asked me a lot during COVID when they weren't feeling well. When they got COVID, this apple rice dish with miso was one of the staples in our diet. So we also have the butternut squash einkorn lasagna is to die for. I made that for Christmas for the last couple of years because people like it so much. I have a butternut squash soup, green chicken curry, which is you top it with some cultured veggies, so good. Cream of vegetable soup, which is my daughter calls it Thanksgiving soup because it tastes like Thanksgiving. I have the einkorn sourdough stuffing, which is super comforting, which everybody loves sourdough stuffing, but this is made with einkorn. I have a Lebanese lamb and yogurt casserole that is so good. I love this dish. We have the pumpkin kefir oatmeal that I made this one Christmas morning, I think, because everybody was wanting I wanted to make some baked oatmeal, and we had that for breakfast. I have roasted winter veggies with fermented garlic and honey that is to die for. I have a cinnamon pecan butternut yogurt bowl that's Guys, it is so good. It looks weird. Okay. You're basically taking a butternut squash, cutting it in half and baking it and filling it, the little hole you have in the butternut, with yogurt and nuts and cinnamon. And I, I'm in love with that thing. It's so good. It looks weird, but it is absolutely delicious. I also have an apple yogurt oatmeal bowl, and that you use the apple compote. But I've also done that one like the oatmeal bowls. I also do it with strawberries stewed strawberries. And it's so easy to make those things because you just really put frozen or fresh fruit in a pan with a little bit of water and cook it down, a little bit of seasoning like cinnamon. It's so good. All of these are so good. They have different flavors to them, but they add a lot of comfort to your diet. Some of these are for Probiotic Pro members. Try to give them special things and treats because they help me so much, and I appreciate them so much for all they do for me, and I want to give back. And so there's so many, but I have a lot of free ones too, tons of free ones. So I do a lot of things that I make. These are things I make. Actually, some of them I have made the last couple of weeks, so they're just that time of year when I want to make these types of foods. So I hope that helps. I hope you still have your comfort food and your probiotic foods too, because it can make all the difference in the world and how you feel and how you go through, the cold and flu season. You need these foods. This is important, and they're comforting, they're nourishing, and boy, are they good. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.